lesson number 12, film revenues. Do you hear the words film revenues? I didn't say theatrical box office grosses. I haven't even said the word profits yet. Somewhere between revenues from sales to other markets. By the way, how does it feel, guys? You're in your junior year at college now, at film school. You're juniors now. You're sort of cool. Say the new class of freshmen came in, they don't even know how to buy film, and they think it's art. Isn't that amazing? Oh, and by the way, it still is. I don't want to knock it. It still is art. Let's make some more money now. Film revenues. Subject we're going to get into now, specifically with film revenues, is the foreign market, and then we'll put the windows together so you understand the puzzle, and you understand how to maximize revenues, that if you take something out of context of the puzzle, all the revenue falls apart and you don't get any revenue. And then you must put the puzzle together with each window in its specific pecking order. But first, let's get into film markets. Film markets. Film markets up there. Don't confuse film markets with film festivals. There are 600 to 2,000 film festivals all over every year. Every week there are 10 to 40 festivals somewhere in the world. Film festivals are about fluff and awards. But you now know there's something under the surface going around about something about business, about getting a distributor. Really what it's about, the bigger game plan when we get there in a couple lessons, is you go to a festival to get a distributor and you give away North American rights. You actually literally just give it away. It's not free because you want a distributor still, even though it's free to them, put in the P&A money to make it into a movie. And whatever they make from theatrical box office, pay-per-view, video, cable in North America, it's theirs. You keep foreign rights. That's a split rights deal. New phrase, split rights deal. So when you start talking to a distributor, your first sort of deal memo points, of course you're going to talk about money first, but it'll be vague. The next that you talk about, is it a world deal, or is it a North American deal, or is it a foreign deal? If it's a world deal, you will get one distributor who has total rights for the entire world. What if you just get a distributor at a festival that just wants North American rights? Then you could call it a North American deal or a split rights deal, and now you get another distributor for foreign. But now when you go to get another distributor for foreign, you're not an independent filmmaker with a film. You're an American producer with a movie that's in theaters in America, with a P&A budget that's already out there in North America. And that publicity spreads around the world. So now, foreign market, now you're coming to the same distributors that passed for world or North American rights. But if you get one distributor that takes it for North American rights, now those other distributors that passed for North American rights want it for foreign. Because now you got something that's not a film anymore. Now you got an American movie that's worth $10 in America. So let's get into film markets. Film festivals, fluff and awards, but something under the surface about getting a distribution deal. And festivals, you know the major, Toronto, Telluride, Tokyo, Tribeca, Sundance, Cannes, etc. There are 600 to 2,000. They're all over the place. That's festivals. The subject really now, film markets. Where there are 600 to 2,000 film festivals, there are really only 3 to 6 film markets. Film markets are nothing about awards. They're fat, ugly businessmen with cigars and body odor. We talking real misogynistic? What do you got, baby? Talk to me. This is film markets. You'll hear you got to go to the major markets. The major film markets, the 3 big ones, there are 3 big ones, are AFM, Cannes, and MeFed. AFM, Cannes, and MeFed. The American film market, which is the last week of February, first week of March, it actually happens about 10 blocks from here in Santa Monica. Then, 4 months later, springtime, in this city in France called Cannes, there's a film market going on called the Cannes des Marchés. By the way, it's going on at the same time, coincidentally, that the Cannes Film Festival is going on. I am not talking about the Cannes Festival right now. I am talking about the Cannes market. You didn't know these separate things exist. Now you do. Festival is about the red carpet, fluff and awards, and attracting attention. The market is about licensing your film to Italy, Germany, Japan, Korea, Ecuador, Brazil. So right now the subject is one of the big 3 markets, AFM. Next one is Cannes, which is also up here a festival, but a market. Then 4 months later in Milan, Italy, MIFED, I don't know how it's pronounced. We nickname it MIFED, Milan International Filmi Documentario. Milan market, thank you. There are 600 to 2,000 festivals and 3 to 6 markets. The major markets are AFM, the American film market, Cannes, not the Cannes Festival, Cannes Marché, and MeFed. They're 4 months apart. So whenever your film is done and you're ready, go to a foreign market, do your foreign sales. So let's go to a film market. Who are at film markets? Buyers and sellers. You see the word market? Anywhere you go, that's a market. Buyers and sellers. Supermarket, produce market, any market. Buyers and sellers, buyers and sellers. What are you? You're a seller. You made a film. You got your foreign rights. You're a seller. So let's go to the market. So you join AFM. So at a market, there are 100 to 200 sellers and 1,000 to 2,000 buyers. What are you? You're a seller. Let's go through, once again, the markets, so you know who the buyers and sellers are. Those 40 to 50 distributors in North America. Of those 40 to 50 distributors, remember the major distributors? Warner Brothers, Paramount, 20th Century, they don't go to a film market. So now we're down to about 33 to 43. Why doesn't Warner Brothers, Paramount, 20th Century go to a film market? Why? Because they don't have to. Warner Brothers is so big that when they distribute a film in North America, Warner Brothers has an office in Paris, France, with 50 to 100 employees that are either French or fluent in French, and Warner Brothers distributes its own film in France. And Warner Brothers has an office in Rome, with 100 to 200 employees that are either Italian or fluent in Italian, and Warner Brothers takes the American film, now dubbed in Italian, and distributes it in Italy. Warner Brothers has an office in Sydney. Warner Brothers has an office in Tokyo. Warner Brothers has an office in Johannesburg. Warner Brothers has an office in Buenos Aires. So the major distributors don't go to film markets because they don't have to. When they distribute the film, they're world. They're all in-house around the world. Now let's go to the mini major distributors. Miramax, New Line. Now in North America, they're big. They're real big. They're distributors. Now, how does Miramax get money for their product from Germany? Miramax has no office in Germany. Miramax has no office in France. Miramax has no office in Italy. Miramax has no office in Korea. Miramax has no office in Tokyo. So how does Miramax get money for their American product that's a movie from Germans or Koreans or Spanish? They do foreign sales. The word sale is not a correct word. The proper word is licensing. They license the rights to exploit their product. Now, licensing is the correct word. You don't really sell. But for the rest of the lessons, whenever I use the word sell, It just makes it easier for me to talk, to get the point together. But you remember the correct word is license. So how does Miramax get money from Italy, Germany, Japan, Korea, Ecuador, Brazil? They do sales. They join a market. So the mini major distributors, the independent distributors, the distributors that specialize in foreign sales, and then maybe 3 distributors from Germany, 2 distributors from Japan, 4 distributors from France, the government of Brazil that's joining as a government, but brings 5 producers with them with 5 films. So at a market, all these people band together and say, we're a market. And if you want to join, you can join the market. The first market that comes up every year is the American film market. And if you want to join as a seller, I believe it costs $10,000 to write the check to initially join. So now you are a member of the American film market. But where does the film market take place? It takes place at a hotel. Basically, it's 10 blocks from here. The Sheraton Loews Hotel in Santa Monica. So during 10 days, the American film market books this hotel 100% and says we're a film market. And since you're a member of the film market as a seller, they are now going to sub out a room to you, a hotel room, that you are actually going to set up as your temporary sales office for 10 days. You will literally, truly tell the hotel, take the beds out of the room. You now take your film, which is, you put it on tape, you rent the biggest high-def TV sets, you'll bring them into that hotel room for the 10 days, you'll put on some nice clothes, you put posters almost around the wall, you get a badge that says you're a salesperson. And on the 3rd floor, 2nd floor of the Sheraton Loews Hotel, you're a salesman doing foreign sales to Italy, Germany, Japan, Korea, Ecuador, Brazil. Who are these people? Well, at every film market, there are 100 to 200 sellers. Whoops. This should be 100 to 200 sellers, which is you, and 1,000 to 2,000 buyers. Who are the buyers? Well, in Japan, they have at least 7 decent-sized distributors that distribute Japanese film, but they would love to get some American film with the M&E track that they could dub in their language and distribute an American film in Japan. So each of these Japanese distributors sends a couple employees to go to the market to look for foreign product to bring back to their nation. In Japan, they have some cable networks that want American movies to bring back for their network. In Japan, television networks, video, DVD distributors. So from Japan, there could be 30 to 40 buyers coming to a market looking for product, mostly from America, but maybe there's some French sales agent here selling French product or German product or Brazilian product or maybe Cuban product, selling back. Germany. It's not like the nation sends buyers, it's capitalistic entrepreneurs that have the distribution companies in Germany, or the video distributors, or the television networks. From Germany, there could be 40 to 60 buyers coming to a market. France, 30 to 40 buyers coming to market. Spain, 15 to 20 buyers coming to market. Portugal, 7 to 12 buyers coming to a market. England, 60 to 80 buyers coming to market. Iceland, 5 to 7 buyers coming to the market. Scandinavia, 30 to 40 buyers coming to the market. Brazil, Ecuador. You got it? There are 100 to 200 sellers at a market and 1,000 to 2,000 buyers that come to a market. What are you? You're a seller. So if you want to, you kept foreign rights. Now you want to sell them. You join the market, write the check. You set up the hotel room, write the check. You put on nice clothes. You'll get a color badge. If you ever go to market, you'll see everybody has a badge, and it's usually 3 different colors, because a lot of us don't speak your language. And we instantly want to know from the color of your badge, are you a buyer or are you a seller? Your press, don't bug me. Your organization, stay away from me. But buyer, seller, From across a crowded room, I can see you're a buyer. Man, I'm a seller. I'll walk right over to you. It's just the color of your badge right away. We know right away. What are you? You're a seller. So you want to do foreign sales. You kept foreign sales for yourself. You join the market, rent the hotel room, set up the room, stand in front of the door on the 3rd floor, room 306 at the Sheraton Loews Hotel, with your nice clothes on, with the colored badge, waiting for the Korean and the Japanese buyers to walk through who don't speak a lot of English, going, what you got? What you got? Who in it? What you got? Who in it? What you got? Who in it? Come on in. Come on in. You bring them into your room. You always tell them how much weight they lost, how good they look. They see the poster. You think they asked to read the script? They don't speak English. And what do you think we're selling? It's exactly what we tell you we're selling, the poster. And don't knock it. It's the poster. And then if they're sort of interested, they see the poster, they see who's in it. They don't know how long the person's in it. They see who's in it. They think it's marketable. They like to see something. So you got a really high-quality television set there with a tape, a trailer of your 35mm film. You put on 5 minutes. They'll only look at 5 minutes right there. Then they're interested. Okay. You don't close the deal now. Now what they want to see is the entire film in a film theater. Have you ever noticed, we're in right now Santa Monica, California. Have you ever noticed when the American film market, which takes place here in Santa Monica, California, when the American film market takes place, there's a shopping street called the 3rd Street Mall that has 3 multiplex cineplexes on it with about 36 screens. For those 10 days, those cineplexes are closed off to the general public. Why? The American film market bought them for 10 days. So now you've warmed up the Japanese buyer, German buyer, Korean buyer, French buyer. They see, okay, it's there, they see who's in it, but they want to see the entire thing. So the next day, you pre-book some 35mm screening time at one of these screens. It'll be $300 to $500 an hour. And you bring into this theater, which will be empty, maybe the German buyer, the Korean buyer, a Brazilian buyer, and somebody from Hong Kong. And you bring them in. They don't talk to each other. They're not competing against each other. They're each different nations or territories. And you screen your entire film. And after the screening, you go, okay, what do you want? What do you give me? And you license them the rights for your film, usually for a period of time that's usually 10 years. It could be 3, 5, 7, but it's usually 10 years. How much money are they going to give you? I don't know. You're a salesman now. Whatever you think you can get away with. And in their nation, we used to, 5 to 10 years ago, try to get a German buyer for the theatrical rights, a German buyer for the TV rights, a German buyer for the cable rights, a German buyer for the video rights. But we found out what happens in the rest of the world. They have such blatant piracy that as soon as we sell one of the rights and send over a print or a tape to somebody in that nation, it's in all the other windows. And what are you going to do? You ever going to go to Afghanistan and sue? You going to go to Dusseldorf and sue? So we give up. We try and get Jack Valenti and the American government to try and protect us. By the way, the film industry is probably the 3rd largest grossing industry in North America. Of manufacturing industries, we bring in more money into this nation than probably 10,000 other manufacturing industries. Really, the only 2 that are above us are aerospace and agriculture. And if you took the government out of subsidizing those 2 industries and giving them their free ride, they'd fall apart, I believe, in 10 seconds. Now, here's the film industry without a penny of support from the government, bringing in massive amounts of money into this nation and making us wealthier. I would appreciate it, government, if you would help us. And stop Canada doing those things that they do up there. Stop Germany, stop the rest, and stop this piracy. But let's get back to it. It's not reality. You're not going to do it, because who likes Hollywood? We're such rich people anyway. I'm sorry. So at the market, we're going to do foreign sales. Foreign sales, you join the market, rent the hotel room, book some screening room time, put on your nice clothes, be a salesman. And let's say the total sales you can do at a market are 25 nations. Sometimes I heard 30 nations and 5 territories. So at the max, you can do 35 sales at a film market. Italy, Germany, Japan, Korea, Ecuador, Brazil, Thailand, Taiwan, Singapore, Hong Kong, Philippines, Indonesia, Australia, New Zealand, India, Pakistan, nations. Now, sometimes a nation is so small that the entrepreneur in that nation doesn't have enough money to pay us for a second-generation print and an M&E track to manufacture and freight it to them, that we allow that entrepreneur to put together 3 nations, and we call it a territory: Middle East, Benelux, Belgium, Netherlands, Luxembourg, Scandinavia. So there are 30 nations and 5 territories other than North America that you can make sales to around the world, 35 sales. So when you read about somebody was at a market and they made 5 sales, that's good, but you know, they didn't make 30. They didn't make 35. But we always hype the plus, the nice spin. So at a market, you warm up the German buyer, French buyer, Korean buyer, Japanese buyer, Argentinian buyer, Venezuelan buyer, Colombian buyer, Hong Kong buyer, China buyer, Japan buyer. And you warm them up, and they want it. It's not automatic they want it. And usually they want it by who's in it. Who's in it? That's what it comes down to, who's in it. What do you got? Who's in it? What do you got? Who's in it? And remember, most of you guys don't have anybody in it for your first film. It's a tough road. No guarantees whatsoever. But at the market, you make some sales. What you got to understand when you make a sale, so let's say the German buyer says, I want it. You're now in the import-export business. You better understand something about the import-export business. Nobody trusts anybody. You're a buyer from Korea. You want to buy my product? I'm selling you my product for 10 years. Do whatever you want with it in Korea. Give me $100,000. Okay, we make the deal. Give me the $100,000. No, you're not giving it to me now? You're telling me send me the print first? The day I send you a print or a second-generation negative and it gets in your country, I know it's going to happen. And are you going to Seoul, Korea and suing? Warner Brothers won't even try that one. You're not trying that one. So I don't trust you, you don't trust me. So at the market, if I make a deal with you for $100,000, we'll sign the contract. Now give me 20% down. I will get 20% down. Maybe at the worst 10%. I'm scared with 10%. 20% down. So you give me a check for $20,000. Now I tell you, go back to your nation, take the other $80,000, deposit it in a bank account with letter of escrow or LC, letter of credit instructions that clearly states, it's in a temporary pattern, this $80,000, that when my second-generation negative clears customs in your nation, that customs declaration slip that I will send over to the bank automatically releases that $80,000 to my bank account here in America. That's what you're going to do when you do foreign sales. You join the market, rent the room, set up the screenings, be a salesman, and then you better go around the world setting up bank accounts in every nation around the world that you made a sale to. Now that I told you how to do foreign sales, I don't think any of you are going to do it. But at least you know how to do it now. And you're not just naive and saying, oh, I'm going to get so much money from here, 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 and here. Now that I was the good teacher and took you through the process. So really what you're probably going to do, if you're successful, is take your film to the festival or festivals, get a distributor that makes it into a North American movie. Now you've got a movie. Now you'll get a distributor that passed on North American rights, but wants it for foreign sale rights. Now that they know it's an American movie with a P&A budget, and then you'll license it to them. This is called run the numbers. Number 2. You're going to get a company and they're going to run the numbers. Here's what I mean by run the numbers. You screen it for this distributor for foreign rights. They're going to look at it and they're going to tell you the phrase, we'll have to run the numbers and get back to you. What does that mean? We'll have to run the numbers and get back to you. So this is Miramax, this is New Line, this is Strand, this is other companies that specialize in foreign sales other than North America. And then they say they'll run the numbers. Here's what I mean. If you bring your film to me, we book a little theater and we screen it. I will screen it with my European salesman, my Pacific Rim salesman, my South American salesman. So the four of us look at your film in the theater with nobody there. And after we look at your film, 90 minutes, we'll be very polite to you and say, we really like your film, we're going to run the numbers, we'll come back to you tomorrow with an offer. As soon as you walk out of the theater, I look to my European salesman. If I pick up this film, what are you going to get me from Germany? You know those 3 German distributors, the 4 pay cable networks in Germany, and the 2 video distributors. What are you going to get me from Germany? Okay. France. Okay. Italy. Spain. Turkey. Greece. Portugal. Benelux. France. Scandinavia. England. Ireland. Run the numbers. All right. Pacific Rim. Korea. Taiwan. Singapore. Hong Kong. Japan. China. Philippines. Indonesia. Australia. New Zealand. India. Pakistan. Run the numbers. Ecuador. Brazil. Argentina. No joke. Just run the numbers. You better not tell me what you're going to get, and then I buy this film from him and you don't get that for me. You're fired. What do you think she's going to be saying? She's going to be scared. She's going to do a guesstimate based off, you know what she's going to do a guesstimate? That poster and who's in it. Or maybe the distributor, or maybe it's the remake. And we clone. Nothing wrong with that. So we run the numbers. Let's say they run the numbers and there are numbers. Let's say they run the numbers and they come up with 5 million. I'll call you back tomorrow and offer you $1.5 million. Walk away. Here's a check for $1.5 million. Goodbye. You want it? Foreign rights. That's the cleanest way. If you want to cut out the middleman and do it yourself, you understand the work ethic you're going to have to put in by joining the market, renting the hotel room, being the salesman, setting up your foreign accounts around the world. If you don't want to cut out the middleman, which you don't, guys, you're going to take it to these distributors who are North American theatrical distributors, but now they put on another hat and they call themselves a foreign sale company. And they'll run the numbers and get back to you, if there are numbers. Now, what if there are no numbers? What if my salesman says, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. There's nobody in it. It's a tough sale. It's a good film. It tells a good story. But what you'll find out around the world, American humor doesn't translate to other nations. Humor is the toughest thing to go from nation to nation. Every nation has a different sense of humor. Drama is different from nation to nation. So what translates from nation to nation usually is just visual. And that's what we do. And there's nothing wrong with making something that makes a profit. And there's nothing illegal about it. So what are you going to get? We got nobody in it. And you go, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. But what you're going to tell me, it's contingent upon how it does at the festival circuit. And by the way, there is no festival circuit. That's a total misnomer. I don't know where that phrase came from, the festival circuit. Like there's some massive organization of festival directors that get together every year. They all hate each other. They're all in competition for this week, I want the exclusivities. They're all out there fighting to get the exclusivities from somebody. And by the way, once you put your film in any festival, you just gave away the world premiere. And if you did it in America to Virginia or Detroit, you gave away the world premiere, North American premiere, and USA premiere. And it's almost automatic, no matter how good it is, Sundance won't take it. And it's not a law, but it's just emotional as you gave away the premieres. So you're going to tell me the festival, the distributor, now thinking foreign sales, with nobody in it, is going to say, we ran the numbers, there aren't any numbers, but it's contingent on how it does at the festival circuit. And there is no circuit. It's just basically, did it get into Sundance, Toronto, or Telluride? And did it get a big buzz? That's it. That's it. Then based off of that, you're going to sell the Sundance official entrant, or it's a Sundance award winner around. And if it's a Sundance official entrant, award winner, we then assume later on it's going to be picked up in North America, and then that'll spin over to you. Then there's some sales off of that. So film markets, where there's a massive amount of money for North American product, if it's a movie, there are only 3 markets, AFM, Cannes, and MIFED. Sundance, which is really a festival, is sort of a market now. They don't call themselves a market. But there are buyers from Germany, Italy, Japan, Korea that come over. And it's not to go skiing. And it's not to show off their new parka. It's that Robert Redford, I don't knock him. He's a true business genius. He's doing a wonderful thing, but it's business. It's business. Berlin Festival is sort of a market also. In Germany, it's a good one. IFFM, I shouldn't have P there. The Independent Feature Festival, it's not project, it's put on by the IFP in New York. The Independent Feature Film Festival Market. It's half a festival, right there in the title, they say what it is. It's a festival market. So it's a festival in which they give out fluff and awards, but it's a market in which they hustle people from Germany, Italy, Japan, Korea to come. Then it's a market to bring back American product to their nation, but leave a check. So now you understand a little bit about foreign sales. You got a little bit of understanding of the cable industry and the video industry. Let's go back and start putting the puzzle together. Remember where we were a lesson or 2 ago with this one that I started? Here's your thing. You're going to be the independent film. You're going to go to a festival. I'm not going to call it a circuit. And really all you want to do is go to one festival. And you really don't know what festival you're going to, because you don't tell me now what festival you plan to go to. Because you don't know when you're finished making your film. You don't even know when you're making your film. You don't think about festivals, although you know you're going, until about 3 weeks before you got your final answer print. About 6 weeks after you shot the film, then you'll think about festivals. And you'll see what major festival is coming up in the next 2 months. A major festival is the festival that those 30, 40, 50 acquisition execs go to. And you know the names. And that's the only festival you really want to go to. And then you submit your film to get in there. No guarantee you get in. But if you're in, it's getting good. Now you're in that festival. Now hopefully you get a distributor that doesn't give you any money, outright buys it. And if they do buy it, it's going to be for a cheap amount of money. But that's just the first deal memo points. There are about 25 other deal memo points where stuff, cash that you put in your bank account or pocket comes from. The first one is just selling it right up front. Or negotiating a big P&A budget, the smoke screen. And they put it in theaters. And it's worth $10. And the P&A budget, they put it in theaters, it's there for 4, 6, 8 weeks. And it does box office gross, 5, 10, 20, 30, 40 million. Do you know that's the word gross? That's not the word profit. Don't you become smart business people and then get stupid. It's amazing how many billionaire, smart, intelligent people come into the movie industry and get instantly stupid. It's just so, we in the movie industry love it. It's more cash coming in because they keep hearing about what our film grossed, 100 million, 200 million, 400 million. In any other industry, they know profit margin. If something grossed 100 million, 200 million, profit margin is maybe 3%, so it's 3 million profit. But in our industry, they hear it grossed 100 million, and they're starting to think, 100 million? Oh, they get stupid. Oh, we love that. Come on, real estate developers. Come on, bring your money in, bring your money in. Come on, all you Max Factor cosmetic billionaires around the world, bring your money. You oil people, bring your money, bring your money, bring your money. You know your life isn't satisfied until you produce a movie. Bring your money, bring your money, bring your money. Here, it grossed 100 million, 200 million, no profit. The first theatrical window, the first window is the theatrical window. And remember, that's the marketing arm. But 1 out of 10 films does make such a big box office gross that there are profits up there. But it takes about 6 to 9 months to figure it out. It's not instantaneous. Really what we're about is creating this perceived value that we then make a sale to the second window. The pay-per-view window, which is really, as you know it, the hotel-motel industry right now. But when pay-per-view goes to video on demand, goes to near video on demand, goes to subscription VOD, and our cable boxes at home get more sophisticated, there's going to be more and more money there. We've been saying that for 20 years, that we're 2 to 3 years away, and we're still saying it. But someday it's going to be massive. The real money is down here, the third window, to either a video distributor or a pay cable network. 9 out of 10 times, you'll get more money for the third window exclusivity period of 6 to 9 months, which is now shrinking, from a video distributor than you will from a pay cable network. So you'll take the check from the video distributor. But there'll still be a sale to HBO, Showtime, or Encore Stars. Then what they do is move down to the fourth window. And you'll get a check from them for $500,000 to $2 to $5 million. Why don't you take a check from them from $5 million to $10 million? Because they want the third window. But you got a video distributor offer you $10 to $20 million. So you say, no, thank you. But then they come down here and give you a check for $5 to $2 million or $5 million. So now, that's the fourth window. Right now, we go to the video DVD, 9 out of 10 times, then it's on HBO or Showtime. Unless every now and then HBO or Showtime does an exclusivity thing with a producer that puts it in theaters, and in the contract of financing the producer, they say they have the exclusivity period for the third window, then they can market only on HBO, only on Showtime. Then the fifth window is not here. This is the fourth. Then the fifth window is basic cable. USA Network, A&E Network, TNT, TBS. And they, since they don't give big checks, they don't have the power to demand exclusivity. So you can get 3, 5, 7 sales there. Then the next window is television and syndication. And in a little way now, we're starting to combine these two windows together, the fifth and sixth window, as what we call a cable terrestrial sale, which is usually 15% of the North American box office gross, is the numbers that I'm seeing. By the way, that's just America, North America. When I say North America, it's USA, Canada. We think of that as one nation. That's just North America. About 10 to 30 days after a film is in theaters in America, you take it to the next market, AFM, Cannes, MeFed. We license it to those 30 nations and 5 territories. And in those nations and 5 territories, they max it out. Then down the road, there are all these other wonderful little sales. That could be decadent money. Merchandising, when you come to something like Star Wars or Spider-Man, is massive, guys. But I'm not saying forget about these. These are massive. This is the puzzle right here. And the thing that you got to understand is if you take one piece of the puzzle out, it falls apart and there's no deal. It falls apart and there's no deal. Watch this. Let's say you want to go directly to a basic cable network for funding. What's a basic cable network? TNT, TBS, where's that? Atlanta, Georgia. So you got your script. You throw on a budget, like that means a lot. You say it's a $10 million feature film. You get on a plane, you go to Atlanta, Georgia, and you want to meet Ted Turner. You get off the plane and Ted's waiting for you. And you go, Ted, I got an idea. And Ted goes, I used to sleep with this chick, Jane. She taught me karma. I think you're amazing. I see a purple aura around you. I'll finance you. I'll give you 100%. Don't even tell me the title, Dove. What do you want to do? You want to make a movie? You want 10 million? I'll give you 10 million. Here's the killer line now. Just get a distributor. That killed you. That means forget it. Just get a distributor. Ted Turner will finance you 100% if you get a distributor. So if I was you and I got that deal with Ted Turner, I would quickly get on a plane, go from Atlanta, Georgia, go to New York or LA, and go to any distributor and say, distributor, I got a film 100% financed by Ted Turner, TNT. Here's my deal I'll make with you. It's free. I'll give it to you, man. Just take it. Wouldn't you be happy? Once every 2 years getting Ted to give you $10 million, you put yourself in for a salary of $400,000 to $500,000. You'll have to spend 3 months living in 5-star hotel suites and hanging around with a couple of pretty people. You want to say no to that job? It ain't going to happen, though, because it's not really free. Here's how the distributor looks at it. You're bringing them something that said financed by Ted, another network, a basic cable network. And even though you say it's free, they still got to put in the P&A money. So it's not free. And they know that 9 out of 10 films lose money eventually in the theatrical window. And they also know, which you didn't realize, that Ted wants the second window for TNT. Only on TNT. So after it's in theaters and got the perceived value, then it goes on TNT 20 times the next month. And after it's on TNT 20 times the next month, you're not getting this sale. You're not going to get this sale. You're not going to get this sale. This sale's no sale because that's where you got the revenue to finance the product. So the deal you're bringing to me, a theatrical distributor, is I put in the P&A money and I got a 1 out of 10 chance of making a profit. And my only possibility of recouping is I got to wait 18 months for a TV sale. That's not a good deal. We'll pass. I'll have to pass on the opportunity, but thank you very much. Wait. Here's what's different today, which I told you about the foreign market. 20, 30 years ago, if a film grosses 100 million US, North America, Canada, it'll gross an additional 20 to 30 million foreign. That was 20 to 30 years ago. Today, if a film grosses 100 million US, it'll probably gross 130 million foreign for a combined world gross. So now if you're coming to this distributor with a film financed with somebody in it of a name that you can do foreign sales, at least now a Kevin Costner that you got on a good deal within a $10 million project, and they know they can do foreign sales with this, then they'll market in here. They hope the audience comes, but even if it doesn't, they got that foreign market cash cow. That's there. So now it comes down to what's your package, what's your project, what are you bringing to me? What are you bringing to me? And don't talk to me about the thought, the idea. You see in the business now, we're starting to put the business puzzle together of the world market. Biggest thing about us in America is we think global in marketing. We think global in maximizing revenues and sales. Every other producer, director in other nations, they just think their nation. That's why Hollywood became Hollywood. We market to the world, and we sell to the world. And now you're starting thinking the world as revenue, and maybe you just give away North American rights to get it made into a movie. But you start thinking about foreign. Guess what? This lesson is pretty much over. We're about to become seniors. How do you feel in film school? 4-year film school. Freshman year, you know, is that crazy teacher yelling and screaming, film lab, camera, this. You feel a different mentality now? Do you feel like you are about to be a senior and feeling you're a business person now? I don't want to kill the youthful energy of any of you. It still comes down to talent, and it still comes down to script. But it is a business. It's show business. Treat it like business and do your art. The next lesson we'll get into is lesson 13 now, which now that you understand how to make a film cost effectively, and now that you know how to sell a film around the world and where revenue will come from, and now that you know even how to buy film, now I can talk to you about financing your feature film, where I know you wanted to start right away on lesson 1. Oh, you just want to know how to get the money. You always do. And none of us in the industry can tell you, hey, wait a second, man, you don't even know how to buy film. Well, now I think I got you grounded. Our next lesson is going to be financing your feature films, but more specifically, financing your first feature film. We're not going to get caught up in pay-or-play commitments, pre-sale financing, gap financing, negative pickup deals, although I'll explain what some of them are so you know what they are, so you don't get titillated with them thinking it's going to happen on your first feature film. And then I'll bring you down to how to finance your first, keep hearing the word first, feature film. You keep reading books and trying out and reading about and taking seminars on how people finance their third, fourth, fifth, and sixth feature films. And it's not helping you at all. I'll teach you how to finance your first feature film. So now you know how to make a film, you know how to make a film cost effectively, you understand something about publicity and marketing, you have some understanding about how to maximize revenues and where money will come from around the world. Now we'll start in the next lesson talk about financing. Before we go, a question, sir?
Yes, is there a time period when you sell a film to cable as far as, or it's only?
What? Yeah, but how long is that window? They're usually, I hear, periods of 30 to 90 days, super short. It's usually 3 months, 6 months, or 9 months. They obviously want it as long as possible. You want it as short as possible. I would probably say 6 to 9, if they're giving a big check, truly big check, 6 to 9 months. If it's not super big check, then 3 to 6 months. And then it could be just nickel-dime checks with basic cable, 30, 60 days, or you're down to you don't care anymore and it's non-exclusivity. And then you could do whatever you want with it 20 times in a year. You got 12 months, but it's not exclusive anymore. 6 to 9 months with a big check. 3 to 6 months with a decent check, but not a massive check. That's the window period. So next lesson coming up, film financing. Wait, we got one more question. Yes, sir?
Yes. In terms of films that women go to see, or that men go to see,
Yeah.
do those, as they apply in America culturally, does that sort of apply in other nations as well?
A chick flick? Not, yeah, wait, stop. You know, it's what we call it. In America, there's the chick flick, you know, When Harry Met Sally, Sleepless in Seattle, While You Were Sleeping, et cetera, et cetera. They're just clones of each other, just replace the two stars, male and female, who's topical and cute today, et cetera, et cetera. Your question, though, does that chick flick in America translate to England? Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it's pretty good. Do we buy that Bridget film with Renee Zellweger? You know, that sort of English mentality over here. It's female, yeah. Will it go to France? I don't know. Germany? Probably. Australia, New Zealand? Yeah. Japan? No. How many of them speak English that they understand the idioms and the nuances and the humor? It's very difficult. It's very difficult. So how do you get those sales? It comes down to who's in it. Is it a chick flick starring Leonardo DiCaprio? Will it sell to Tokyo and Japan? Massive. But it's a chick flick that tells a wonderful story that we really love it here in America, but nobody's in it, it's totally brand new, then it's a tough sale there. But did it go to Sundance and get the award? Then maybe it's an easier sale. It's tough to translate drama from nation to nation, and especially humor. But then, who's in it? That's the key. What do you got? Who's in it? But remember a couple lessons ago, I told you time and time again, it's very important to have somebody in it. But you can't afford it on your first film. So stop wasting mental energy, but it is really important. So we're going to take a stop now from this lesson. We're going to get into the next lesson, lesson number 13 coming up, financing your first feature film. You understand now how to make a film cost effectively and how to maximize revenue by selling the film. Now let's learn how to finance the film. Once again, God bless and happy filmmaking to you.